Hello, who's with us?
Evening.
Oh, Jeffrey, how are you?
Baruch Hashem, all good, Robin. You?
When I hear you, it's always good to know that you're with us.
Thank you.
How you doing, Jeffrey?
Thank God. Thank God. Baruch Hashem, things going well. Thank you.
Baruch Hashem. Yom Yom. Who's with us? Let's see, Iva with us. Hello, Iva. How are you? Okay, we're just waiting for another few more people just to join us, and then Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll start the show. Jeffrey, any question regarding the Parsha in the meantime?
Well, as far as our lights have just gone out as I'm talking to you.
I know. It just, I don't know if you saw the flash of the behind me.
Yeah. Well, this is starting up the lighting the menorah.
It's exactly when the lights gone on.
We need the menorah.
We need the menorah. Huh? We need the menorah of Bet HaMikdash. Huh?
Absolutely. 100%.
I think that we need not only the menorah, we need Mashiach here.
100%. 100%. Well, that's one good thing. We're not only we're Jews, we're optimistic, and that's how we are. And we know Mashiach is coming, and we've been waiting for Mashiach for centuries, but we know he's coming. We know he's coming.
When we don't know. Please God, he will bring the light with him.
100%.
And I hope that's going to happen soon. Please God, it will happen soon.
Amen.
That's what we're waiting for. I see Mark join us. Hello, Marky. How are you?
Hello, Rob.
How's
Hello,
it? How are
Rob.
you?
Good, and you, Rob?
Good.
Baruch
Just
Hashem.
waiting for another. You well?
Baruch Hashem.
Good. We're just waiting another few seconds before we start the show to give people chance with this load shedding to join us, and then we will continue. We'll just have another few more seconds, and then we'll start the show. Be'ezrat Hashem, והשם עלינו ברחמיו יבריח. בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח. Okay, I see Brian now joining us. Also, Brian is soon going to be with us. We're just going to try and see. Hello, Brian. How are you? I see Frank joining us. Also, Brian, you well? You can hear me well?
We can hear you perfectly, thank you.
Good. You well?
I'm okay, but I'm just got a cold, doing a lot of coughing. I haven't been to shul. I've been staying at home, working from home at the moment.
That's the best. That's the best.
Anyway, Lawrence speaks to me. She just contacted him. She's headed, you know?
Good.
So she's just
I
next
see
to
Frank
him.
also joining us. Hello, Frank. How are you? Frank, I see also joining us. Louis joining us. Good. Frank, you well?
Yeah, I'm well. Thanks, Rabbi. Everything's done for you. All's been done.
Yes,
Thank you very much. Oh,
Sure.
thank
Now
you
you're going to
very
see
much.
Brocha Natzlacha. I see also Louis.
Amen.
Hello, Louis.
Amen.
Hello, Rob. How are you?
Baruch Hashem, when I see you with us, we're all happy. I promise you, Marky, more happy than anyone.
Yeah. Hello,
Yeah,
Louis.
happy to be with you all. How's it, Marky? How's it?
Okay, Rabotai, I think I'm going to start the show. I'm going to mute everyone. More people are going to join. We waited enough. Jeffrey, don't forget to unmute yourself. Rabotai, we in Parashat Beha'alotcha, and Be'ezrat Hashem, today we're going to see a lot of interesting things. We're going to try towards the end of the show, even not an end, towards the middle of the show, to link the connection. What's the connection between this Parsha and the previous Parsha, Be'ezrat Hashem? There's a lot of interesting things that we're going to speak, Be'ezrat Hashem. So, בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח, בהשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. I would like to delegate the shiur in honor of Esther Kaden Bat Ketzia, Mordechai ben Rahma, Harav Avraham Haim ben Eliezer Yaakov, Tamar Bat Zehava, Yaakov Salomon ben Farha, Dvorah Ruth Bat Beila, Shosha Blima Bat Mordechai Betzalel, Malka Regina Bat Joya, Keti Gurgia Bat Farha. Also in health of Menashe Naji ben Farha, Liora Bat Miriam, Ahuva Kaden Bat Tali Esther, Harav Moshe ben Bayabati, Harav Moshe ben Devorah, Harav Abraham ben Marina, Harav Shlomo Yehuda ben Dalia, Dvorah Bat Esther, Orna Bluma Bat Miriam, Sheina Keila Bat Hana, Mordechai David ben Leah, Haim Nahum, Akohen ben Pesareza, Baruch ben Sarah, Tzvi ben Hava, Shmuel Meir ben Shosha Blima, Miriam Zelda Bat Liba, Moshe Avram ben Henariva, Haya Tzipora Bat Rachel, Ayala Edem Bat Rivka, Tova Liba Bat Rachel, Yoshua Haim ben Hayalea. Please God refuah shlema to all of them. ולכל שאר חולי ופצועי עמו ישראל בכל מקום שהם. רבותיי, we in Parashat Beha'alotcha. Let's start with verse 1 and verse 2. וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל אהרון, ואמרת אליו, בהעלותך את הנרות אל מול פני המנורה, יאירו 7 הנרות. בכבוד.
Hashem spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to Aaron and say to him, when you kindle the lamps, toward the face of the menorah shall the 7 lamps cast light.
Okay. We have to understand that verse. When I said to understand that verse, I'm referring to verse 2. Okay, so let's start with Rashi. Rashi HaKadosh, Rabbi Shlomo Yitzhaki, as you all know, born in the city of Troyes. Troyes, it's in the north of France. He born 980 years ago. And he said a few things, and let's see if we understand Rashi. Rashi explained like this, Beha'alotcha al shem shehalav ole. What it means, the lav, ole, I will explain. What it means, that when you're lighting the menorah, okay, that when you're lighting the twig of the menorah, the flame will actually rise up. What is Rashi trying to tell us? What is Rashi trying to tell us? What is the Hidushi? Okay, that's question number 1. Rashi also say that Beha'alotcha she'ayta ma'ala, that was a step. Remember, I always say Rashi speak and coach, and we have to understand what Rashi tried to tell us. So let's go step by steps, and we'll understand what Rashi tried to teach us. The first thing that Rashi tell, that when the Kohen Gadol light the menorah, he have to make sure that when he light the twig will get a proper flame, and only then to draw is the match or the stick or the wood, whatever he light the twig, only then to remove it and to move and light the next one. That's mean. You're not allowed just to give a flame and then to light another one. No. Say Rashi HaKadosh that when you light it, make sure that the flame going up. What does it mean, the flame? The fire. That means the fire will hold in a flame and a twig. That will be a nice flame to light. That's what the Mefarshim said that Rashi tried to tell us. No. So what is the Hidush? What is the great Hidush here? Asked the Mefarshim. He said, you learn from here a halacha. What is the halacha? That when the woman light Nerot Shabbat, if the woman not at home, the man, okay, or on Nerot Hanukkah. Rabotai, remember, when you light the Hanukkah, when you light the Hanukkah candle, you have to make sure that when you light them, you make sure that the flame on a twig will catch and will start to light. Not just to put the match, okay, or the candle, just give a fire and then to move to the next one. No, you wait a bit until the flame will caught properly on a twig and will start light properly. Only then you move to the next one. And that's what Rashi say, Al Shem Shehalav Ole. Now we learn from here halacha. Rabotai, and that's le'alacha. That's what we should do when we light the candle. Then Rashi HaKadosh come and say, Shaita ma'ala. Ma'ala is a step. Come the Mefarshim and say, we know that you taught us, okay, that in Sefer Shmot, it says, Velo ta'alu b'ma'alot mizbahi. What does it mean? That you should not have a step, okay, when it's come to the altar. Must be a ramp. You're not allowed to have a step. Come the Mefarshim and say, Rashi, what are you saying here that there is a step? What's the Hidush? Why are you telling me that must be a step? That's the question of Rashi HaKadosh, of the Mefarshim on Rashi HaKadosh. Rashi, what are you trying to tell us? Nachon, that the Chazal explained that the Jewish Mizbeach must never have steps. Why? That when the Kohen Gadol gonna climb up on a step, he might gonna expose his knees, and it's not an honor of the Mizbeach. Okay, so how come in the front of the menorah must be a step? Asked the Mefarshim. Said the Mefarshim, I'll tell you what. First of all, it's not steps. It's only one small piece of wood that you would stand on it. It's not a steps, because Rashi say ma'ala. Ma'ala is something that basically to uplift you. What does it mean, said the Mefarshim? I'll tell you. The Mefarshim say what Rashi tried to tell us, that the Kohen Gadol, he used to wear the tzitz, the head plate. On the head plate was the holy name of the Almighty. Now, when he light the menorah, if he lift up his hand above, okay, the head, it will show, has v'shalom, that he doesn't have enough kavod, enough respect to the holy name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Therefore, said the Mefarshim, put a little piece of step made from wood that the Kohen Gadol can stand on it. And when he stands and he lights the menorah, he doesn't have to lift up his hand over his head. And if he doesn't have to lift up his hand over his head, okay, he doesn't desecrate the name of the Almighty. He shows respect. And that's why was a small step on top, on the front of the menorah, that the Kohen can stand on top of it to light the menorah. Now we explain that what is the connection? We have to understand what is the connection between Parashat Beha'alotcha to Parashat Naso, to the previous Parashat. Parashat Beha'alotcha, the Torah tells us, start actually with the mitzvah that Aharon have to light the menorah. Come the Mefarshim explain, you know what's the connection between Parashat Naso to Parashat Beha'alotcha? In Parashat Naso, we saw that all the prince, every prince from every tribe brought his sacrifice, except we saw that Aharon didn't brought, because Aharon is the Kohen Gadol, he didn't brought. And he felt a bit embarrassed, he felt a bit like being left out. Said the Mefarshim that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw that Aharon felt uncomfortable with that, like Chas v'Shalom, we've been left out, and he didn't get also the merit to bring his own korban, his own sacrifice. Kadosh Baruch Hu said to him, Hayecha, your life, that you should light the menorah in Bet HaMikdash. And not only that, Hazal say, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised Aharon that when a Bet HaMikdash not going to be exist, and we can't light the menorah in Bet HaMikdash, going to be a menorah that we light every year. What is that? The Hanukkah, the menorah of Hanukkah. Why? Because Aaron felt like he'd been left out by not bringing his own sacrifice. And he felt a bit embarrassed. He felt a bit unbelong. Come HaKadosh Baruch Hu and said to him, and that merit, I will merit you that forever the menorah that you light in the Mikdash will be lit in. Even when Bet HaMikdash not going to be existent, that's the Hanukkah. Until here, we explain what Rashi say and the connection. But come the most famous question, and it say El Mul Pene HaMenorah, in the front of the menorah. Ya'iru Shivat HaNerot, the 7 lights will light on the front. Come the Mefarshim and say like this, wait, I don't understand. You telling me that you're going to light the menorah in the front. What, for a minute you was thinking that you're going to light the menorah from the back? What's the hidush here? What is the hidush behind it? That the Torah have to tell us, in the front, you light the menorah. So to explain that, we have to understand what the commentary explains. The Mefarshim explain like this. The Mefarshim explain, if you look at the menorah and Bet HaMikdash, they have 3 branches on the right-hand side, 3 branches on the left-hand side, and 1 branch on the center. That means the main branch on the center and 3 on each side. That means together 3 and 3 is 6. Hazal come and tell you and explain to us something extraordinary. He said that here there is a hidush for us. He said the hidush is that the middle branch is Torah Shebechtav. What it means Torah Shebechtav? The written Torah. The 6 branches, 3 on the left, 3 on the right, it's a word Shisha Sidre Mishnah. That means a word, the 6 Sidarim of the Mishnah that we have. And what is that? That's the oral Torah. Said the Mefarshim, here there is a secret. That if you want to understand the written Torah, you need the oral Torah that explain the written Torah. And that's the secret behind. Said the Mefarshim, that's something very important. You need the 6 Sidrei Mishnah. Okay? Why? Because that will help you to understand the middle branch. And that's Torah Shebechtav. Without Torah Shebe'al Peh, you cannot understand the Torah Shebechtav. And that's the secret of the Torah. And that's what's hiding behind the menorah. That the menorah, the middle branch, represent our written Torah. The 6 branches on the side represent the oral Torah that explain our written Torah. And that's what it said the Mefarshim. Why does it say in the front of the menorah, El Mul Penei HaMenorah, in the front of it? That you must understand that if you want to understand the written Torah, you have to have oral Torah. Without that, it's not going to work. One fit to each other. Let's move to verse 3. And here also we have to understand what the Torah says. Vayas chen Aaron אל מול פני המנורה, העלה נרותיה כאשר ציווה אדוני את משה. Very interesting. בכבוד, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, you have to unmute.
Yes. Aaron did so. Toward the face of the menorah, he kindled its lamps, as Hashem had commanded Moshe.
Here we see that the Torah tells us that Aaron HaKohen done exactly what HaKadosh Baruch Hu commanded him. And come Rashi HaKadosh. And Rashi HaKadosh, again, speak to us in code. What did it say? Lehagid shivcho shel Aaron she'asa chen. Whoa, wait a minute. I don't understand. Rashi, what are you trying to tell me here? Rashi said, Lehagid shivcho. What it means, Lehagid shivcho? To praise Aaron that he done exactly what the Almighty told him and he didn't change. Rashi, what are you trying to tell me? Can you for a second think that a person like Aaron HaKohen, that he entered the Holy of Holiness once a year, the only man, will do something that HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't command? Has v'shalom. Will Aaron HaKohen will obey what HaKadosh Baruch Hu say? Has v'shalom. Said the Hazon Ish. The Hazon Ish, Rabbi Avraham Yeshayahu Karlitz. Okay, he born in a city of Kosovo. Kosovo is a city in Belarus. He born around 145 years ago. And he bring a beautiful commentary. And he said that in the nature of a person, in the nature of a human being, when you get to Gedula, you get to great leadership, a great position, he quite often you have to say his own opinion. His own opinion very important because he's the leader. Said Hazon Ish, look what the Torah tell you here. What Rashi tried to tell you, that explained Hazon Ish, that the person like Aaron, although that he become one of the most important members in a Jewish life, that means he's a Kohen Gadol, enter to the Holy of Holiness once a year. Okay, although so, he didn't change nothing. He done exactly what HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him. Because quite often when a person gets to a high position like Aaron Kohen, he have to have his own opinion. People love to say their own opinion. People want to show that they have opinion. And when they're reaching to that level like Aaron Kohen, they always have to say something. Come Rashi HaKadosh and tell you, Lomar Shifho, to praise Aaron that he didn't change. What do you mean he didn't change? What, you would think for a second Aaron would change? Not that he will change and not do what HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He might gonna have his own opinion. He might gonna do something, okay, to make it like, to show like he said. Come the Torah and praise him, say Rashi Shelo Shina. What it means Shelo Shina? He didn't change. He didn't add up nothing. I saw another beautiful commentary of Rabbi Meir Mipir Mishlan. Pir Mishlan is a city in the Ukraine. That's where Rabbi Meir Mipir Mishlan born. He born around 243 years ago, plus minus. Okay, don't hold me into it. Rabbi Meir Mipir Mishlan. And he bring in a different idea. And listen to his idea. He said that, quite often when a person get to Gedula, what it means Gedula, get to such a high position, like Aaron become the Kohen Gadol, he is the most holy man in the Jewish, come Rabbi Meir Mipir Mishlan and say, Ador, that Aaron Kohen reached to that level to be the highly priest, enter once a year to Holy of Holiness. Okay? Kohen Gadol, it's not a simple thing. Aaron Kohen didn't change. What does it mean didn't change? What Rashi said. Say Rabbi Meir Mipir Mishlan, tell you what Rashi tried to hint to you. That inside himself, Aaron wasn't just humble and full of humility towards the outside and the exterior. Also inside, lo shina befnim. What does it mean, lo shina befnim? Say Rabbi Meir Mipir Mishlan, that inside himself, he didn't feel like he have proud and honor that he's much better than anyone else. He said that what Rashi tried to tell you, that Aaron Kohen never felt that he's better than anyone else. Although that he's the Kohen Gadol, inside him, in his heart, in his thought, he never had for a minute, a second, to think that he's better than anyone else. He's still humble. He's still full of humility. And that's what's so special about Aaron. Because usually when people get to that level, people intend to have a bit of arrogance. Come, Rashi HaKadosh said, Shelo Shina, he didn't change. He never changed. He stayed the same, exactly like he was before. He stayed now. That's the greatest message of Aaron Kohen. Okay, let's continue to verse 4. If you look what I'm doing today, I'm going actually verse by verse. Soon I'm going to skip just to show you, because usually what I do, I take full psukim and I jump. Tonight I decide to make the show that we focus for the first 3-4 verses, and then I'll skip. Verse 4 says, וזה מעשה המנורה, מקשה זהב, עד ירחה, עד פרחה, מקשה היא כמראה אשר הראה אדוני את משה כן עשה את המנורה. בכבוד.
This is the workmanship of the menorah, hammered out gold. From its base to its flower, it is hammered out, according to the vision that Hashem showed Moshe. So did he make the menorah.
Okay, here the Torah tells us something very interesting, and already Rashi HaKadosh in Sefer Shmot, in Parashat Truma, if you remember, we spoke about it, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed Moshe Rabbeinu how to make the menorah. The menorah have to be made by cost of gold, one cost of gold. What does it mean? It cannot make from many pieces. That means to join pieces and to put the menorah together. That cannot happen. And the question is, why is the menorah have to be one cost of gold? That question been asked by many of the commentary. Tonight, I'm going to bring the commentary of Rabbi Lazar Askari. Rabbi Lazar Askari, born in a city of Tzfat 490 years ago. He wrote the famous book Sefer Haredim that we brought on Sunday's commentary also. And he explained like this. And here, by that the menorah have to be made from one cost of gold, first of all, we have to understand that the menorah represents one very important thing. The Torah represents the Holy Torah. The menorah represents the Holy Torah. Okay? Because the same like the menorah light, okay? The Torah light the person. Light the life of a person. Come, Rabbi Lazar Askari, and tell us from here a great thing. Listen what he said. He said, like the menorah used to light, okay? Also the Torah light. When it's come to do mitzvot, when the Torah commands you to do mitzvot, you must remember that the Torah come to tell you to do the mitzvot in completion. One cost of mitzvah. Don't try to do a half a mitzvah here, a half a mitzvah there. For example, the Torah tells us that we should sleep, we should eat, we should drink. But you must have in mind, when the Torah tells you to sleep, when the Torah tells you to eat, when the Torah tells you to drink, it's that you have enough strength and enough energy to continue to study the Torah. Say Rabbi Lazar Askari, that's what the Torah tried to teach you. That when you do mitzvot, do them in full. And don't think that you have to do certain mitzvah, you can do certain mitzvah, you can't do. For example, a person going in a shul in the morning to daven shachrit. Every morning he go and daven shachrit. He said to himself, but listen, I daven today shachrit. Minha, I'm not so sure that I'm obligated. I daven one tefillah a day. I don't have to daven 3 tefillot a day. Come the Torah and tell you, very important. וזה מעשה המנורה. מקשה זהב. One cost. That when the Torah tell you that you have to do a mitzvah, do it in completion. Don't do when it suits you, when it doesn't suit you. No. When you do mitzvah, do them in completion. One cost of mitzvah. Don't say I'm davening. I'm just giving the idea of the davening. Davening in the morning, but at Mincha Mariv, it's not so important. Shachrit, because we put tefillin, is very important. Nachon, that is important to put tefillin, because it's a sign. But also, tefillat mincha and tefillat arvit is important. That's what say Rabbi Lazar Askari, the Torah tried to teach us. Don't make the Torah or don't make the mitzvot for many pieces. What it means many pieces? When it suits you, you daven. When it doesn't suit you, I don't go to shul. No. You do a mitzvah, you have to do it in completion. The same like the menorah. The menorah done in one, you do it also. What does it mean you do it also? You need to daven, you daven. You daven mincha, you daven mariv, you daven shachrit. You need to put the tefillin, you do it properly. You don't skip when you daven. You know, many people think they come late to shul, they must skip. No, you can't skip. So what's the use? What Hazal constitute for us, and Sheikh Knesset Agdola constitute for us the Siddur that we can skip what they told us? All what the Shulchan Aruch say, that if a person come late to shul, he can start with the congregation. Okay, not to miss Kriyat Shema, not to miss the Amidah together, but later on you have to fill it. Or people come and don't say half of the korbanot, if not all the korbanot they skip. So what's the use? Another 10 minutes, another 15 minutes. Stay at home or come earlier and say the korbanot. If you can't say it in shul, say it at home. What's the problem with that? And that's what it means, one cost. That means like the same that the menorah, that symbol that our Torah, our mitzvot, we should do it in completion. That's the idea. That's Rabbi Elazar Askari. Let's move now to verse 17. And here we're going to speak about the firstborn. And it's very interesting what it says here. In verse 17, it says like this, Kili kol bechor bebnei Israel, okay, באדם ובבהמה, ביום הכותי כל בכור בארץ מצרים, הקדשתי אותם לי.
For every firstborn of the children of Israel became mine, of man and livestock, on the day I struck every firstborn in the land of Egypt. I sacrificed them for myself.
Okay. I saw a beautiful question that's been asked by the Mefarshim. Why does the Torah have to tell us that the Almighty took the firstborn? Well, what's the Hiddush? What, the rest of the children of Israel, they're not important? The Levim is not important, the Kohanim? Why did the Torah tell us specifically, Kili kol bechor? That means the Almighty took the firstborn amongst the children of Israel. What's the Hiddush? I saw a beautiful Hiddush that come from the Sforno. The Sforno is Rabbi Ovadia Misforno. He born in a city of Cesena. Cesena is a city in the north of Italy. He born around 551 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. He was a great scholar, rabbi. Besides being a great scholar, rabbi, he wrote his commentary on the Torah that had been accepted, and it's called the Sforno. In his profession, the Sforno was a doctor. And he said, what is the Hiddush here? He said, you have to understand that the Bechorot been punished, as you all know. Who took the place? The Leviim. In Makat, in the first plague that HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought on the Egyptian, when he killed the firstborn of the Egyptian, Kamidat Adin, that means the angel that criticized against the Jewish people. And he said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're going to kill now the firstborn of the Egyptian. That's fair enough. I don't understand what's the difference between them and the firstborn of the Jewish. The firstborn of the Jewish, when the children of Israel was in Egypt, he was supposed to be number one, the rabbis. What it means, the rabbis? They were supposed to be the teachers to make sure that the people, the children of Israel, not going to sin. They should be very strict on them. But because they wasn't strict, and not only that they didn't strict, they also jump on a wagon and they reach to the 49 level of Tuna. Instead of teaching the Jewish people how to keep the tradition, how not to sin, they also join them. And you punish them and you took the honor of the firstborn and you give it to the Levim and they're going to serve in Bet HaMikdash. Before the what you call it, the firstborn, they used to serve in Bet HaMikdash. Say, the Mefarshim, beautiful idea. Come Rabbi Ovadia Misforno and saying that here HaKadosh Baruch Hu come and say something very important. That Nachon, that I took the honor from the firstborn. But the firstborn, they steal my children. They steal my kids. Nachon, that they wasn't strict enough. Nachon, that the Satan come and criticize and put a judgment against the firstborn. Come HaKadosh Baruch Hu and say, Adoso, I want to teach you a principle, the children of Israel. If the firstborn that was supposed to be in charge and he didn't done his job, and I took his job and I give it to the Leviim, he's still my son. And the same you, the children of Israel, that if you sin, you must remember one important principle. And it's a fundamental principle that the Sforno, that the Torah tried to teach us. HaKadosh Baruch Hu say, Kili kol bechor bebnei Israel. That means that the children of Israel, it doesn't make a difference. Although that they sin, banim em laHashem. They're still children to the Almighty. So say the Sforno, from here you learn a great idea. What's the idea that you learn? Say the Sforno. You learn from here something very interesting. You learn that although that the Bechorot sin, although that the children of Israel sin, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want to punish. HaKadosh Baruch Hu willing to wait and to make sure that you'll do tshuva. Why? Because like a father with a son. Not that sometimes the son is naughty, the son doing something wrong, but it doesn't mean that the father doesn't love him. He may be going to punish him, but he doesn't hate him. The father always loves. And that's the idea here, that although that sometimes, we're doing not the right thing, we human being, we can make mistake. Come the Sforno and say the Torah teach you that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will never leave you alone. HaKadosh Baruch Hu always loved the children of Israel because they, the chosen nation. And that's the Hidush here, said the Sforno. Let's continue. And to verse 19, and let's see what the Torah tells us in verse 19. ואתנה את הלוויים נתונים לאהרון ולבניו בתוך בני ישראל, לעבוד את עבודת בני ישראל באוהל מועד, ולכפר על בני ישראל, ולא יהיה בבני ישראל נגף בגשת בני ישראל אל הקודש.
Then I assigned the Levites to be presented to Aaron and his sons from among the children of Israel, to perform the service of the children of Israel in the tent of meeting, and to provide atonement for the children of Israel, so that there will not be a plague among the children of Israel when the children of Israel approach the sanctuary.
Okay, Rabotai, here, if you look at this verse, if you just a bit looking at it, you'll see something very interesting. You see that the words Bnei Israel mentioned 5 times on the same verse. Rashi HaKadosh explained, you know why is it mentioned 5 times? To show the love of the Almighty to the children of Israel, because the children of Israel is like the 5 books of Moses. What's the connection? You're talking about the 5 books of Moses, and then you're talking about love. Love, I understand, that to show that HaKadosh Baruch Hu loved the Jewish people. That's why he mentioned them 5 times. When a person loves something, he mentions it many times. But what does that have to do with the 5 books of Moses? What does that mean? It's come to tell you something very important. So I saw a beautiful commentary of Rabbi Yitzhak Meir Alter. Rabbi Yitzhak Meir Alter, he was the head, he was the first Gur Rebbe. He started the Hasidut of Gur. He born in Poland around 224 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. He wrote a book, Hidushei Harim. Hidushei Harim is a commentary on Parashat Shavua. And he says something very interesting. He said that from that the Almighty took the Levi'im and he made them the head. By that they're going to serve in Bet HaMikdash, and from the Levi'im going to become also the Kohanim. He come to tell you it might going to cause a weakness to the rest of the children of Israel. Why? Because the Kadosh Baruch Hu chose Dafka the Shevet Levi and not any other tribe. Come Kadosh Baruch Hu and tell you in this verse extraordinary, something extraordinary. What does it tell you? It's come to tell you the same like there is 5 books of Moses that HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us the Torah and love the Torah, okay? He come to tell you the same like I love my Torah, I love you, all the children of Israel. And you all one ring that join another ring. That means it's one big change. The same like the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, okay? They're all one after each other. It's like one change that link one to each other. That means that the entire 5 books of Moses, it's like all our Torah. Not that it's split to 5 chumashim, 5 books, but it's one Torah. The same these children of Israel. The same the children of Israel. HaKadosh Baruch Hu love every Jew, and it doesn't make a difference who he is and what he is. HaKadosh Baruch Hu love every Jew. The most important thing that you must understand, on the days those that I chose to serve in where? In Bet HaMikdash. But I wanted to teach you something else. I wanted to tell you that the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that he chose the Shevet Levi, but you all want change. And you all important to me, the same like the 5 books of Moses. The same like the Torah completed and split to 5 books. You all as important like the Holy Torah. Not that you all split it, but you have to remember, you all like one change, just one change fit to another one. It's one big long change. And that's the Hidush here. By that, the same like the 5 books of Moses make the Torah, you all the Jewish people also make all the Torah. And not only the Levy. And that's the Hidush here. Why I mentioned 5 times the name of Bnei Israel in a verse, to show the love to them. And that's what Rashi tried to tell us, to show the love, okay, that's towards the 5 books of Moses. The same like there is one Torah, but it's made from 5 books. Also the children of Israel. I love you all. But you made from all different tribes. And that's the Hidush. Let's move. Now I'm going to jump and I'm going to go to chapter 10, verse 2. And here we're going to speak about something very interesting. I think that many of you, when read that verse in the past, asked the same question. And the question is like this. The Torah here speak about the trumpet. Let's read and let's see what the Hidush here. עשה לך 2 חצוצרות כסף, מקשה תעשה אותם, והיו לך למקרא העדה, ולמסע את המחנות, בכבוד.
Make for yourself 2 silver trumpets. Make them hammered out, and they shall be yours for the summoning of the assembly, and to cause the camps to journey.
Okay. The Torah tells us to make 2 silver trumpets that make from 1 cost. We'll explain again why 1 cost. But the question that the Mefarshim ask, the Torah tells us that the 2 trumpets is to call the children of Israel when they want to go to the journey. That means when they're going to blow the trumpet, the entire children of Israel will know that it's time to take their stuff, to get ready. We're going to start another journey. Okay. I agree. Come the Mefarshim and say, wait, I don't understand. Why does it have to be 2? Why? 1 trumpet, if you blow, no one going to hear? Only on 2 trumpets they're going to hear? You need 2? Why dafka 2? Why not 3? Why not 1? Why is the Torah, what's the Hidush behind having 2 trumpets? That's question number one. Question number two, again, you're telling me that when you do the trumpet, make it from silver, but it has to be one cost of silver. What's the hidush? What difference does it make? So I'm going to bring two different ideas. The first idea is from the Maharhu, Rabbi Chaim Vital. Rabbi Chaim Vital, born in a city of Tzfat. He born in a city of Tzfat in Israel, and he born 481 years ago. And the Maharhu says something extraordinary. And actually, the Maharhu bring the words of the Zohar HaKadosh, if I'm not mistaken, and he explained it according to the Zohar HaKadosh. Let's be more specific, okay? And said the Maharhu like this. He said that, you know why there is two trumpets? Because every person have the Yetzer Tov and have the Yetzer Hara. Sometimes a person hears the sound of the good inclination. Sometimes we hear the evil inclination that try to entice us to do averot. That's mean, said the Maharhu according to the Zohar, that there is two sounds in a human being. And sometimes a person can hear himself. If you ask yourself, I heard that not from the Maharhu, that's I'm bringing you some other interpretation from the Mekubalim. A person like hear himself, talking to himself, to fight the Yetzer Hara, to try to convince himself to do averot, not to do averot. He's like debating with himself. The Mekubalim said that every person have the Yetzer Tov and Yetzer Hara. It's all the time fighting ones against each other. Come the Maharhu and tell us, you know why there is in Bet HaMikdash, they tell you to have two trumpets. Here they're talking about the tabernacle. That's the portable Bet HaMikdash. It's come to tell you that one important thing, that you have to understand that all the time there's a fight between the good inclination to the evil inclination. And it will be all the time a competition. All the time, you have to make sure that you're listening to the sound of the good inclination. And you should make sure that the sound of the good inclination will be clear enough not to allow the evil inclination to entice us to do averot. And that's why there is two trumpets. Okay? In that case, what is have to do with one cost? Okay, that's second question. But before we explain that, I'm going to bring another commentary, completely different. Hazal tell us something very important. Hazal tell us that if you look, there is what we call in the two trumpets, we have Torah Shebe'al Peh and Torah Shebichtav, the written Torah and the oral Torah. It's come to tell you that you have to understand that the written Torah cannot be understood properly without the oral Torah. So the two trumpets come to explain to us that you have to have the Torah Shebichtav and Torah Shebe'al Peh. You have to have the written Torah and you have to have the oral Torah to understand. And Rabotai, we explained that earlier in the show. These 6 branches, you remember that we mentioned, and those represent the Shisha Sidrei Mishnah. That's the oral Torah. The middle branch of the menorah, that's Torah Shebichtav. That means you have 3 branches on the left, 3 branches on the right. To tell us something very important, that without the Shisha Sidrei Mishnah, you cannot see the light of the middle branch. You cannot understand the written Torah. So the secret behind it, to understand the Torah, come and tell you that you need 2 trumpets. What it means, 2 trumpets? You need the written Torah and the oral Torah. Without them, you cannot understand. And that's the secret behind why it was 2 trumpets. Now we explain that was 1 cost, again of silver. What's the idea? The idea here is come to tell you, again, when you do the mitzvot, don't let the evil inclination penetrate and entice you to do also averot with things that you're allowed to do. For example, person allowed to eat, person allowed to drink, person allowed to sleep. You need to sleep 6 hours, 7 hours sleep. You're not allowed to eat. Eat. Why? So you have strength. Come the Torah and tell you, don't take all of those things that you're allowed to do and abuse them. What does it mean? Don't eat and make, like the goyim make a feast and get abused and eat and eat. That's not our Torah. You need to eat. You eat what you need to eat, that you can survive, that you can be strong, and you can learn Torah. The Torah didn't tell us that we're forbidding from drinking alcohol, cold drink, water, but don't overdo it. Don't over abuse it. The same with the food, the same with everything in life that you allow. It's come to tell you, take those mitzvot that you allow and do it 1 cost. Do it all for the sake of heaven. Don't do it for the sake of the pleasure. Don't allow the evil inclination to penetrate between you and the Almighty. That's what it's a 1 cost. I would like to end up again with Zera Shimshon, like every Friday, every Thursday we do. In Zera Shimshon, in chapter 11, verse 16, 11:16. Look what it says. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe, אספה לך 70 אנשי איש מזקני ישראל, אשר ידעת, כי הם זקני העם, ושוטריו, ולקחת אותם אל אוהל מועד, והתייצבו שם עמך. בכבוד.
Sorry, one second, Rob.
11:16, chapter 11, verse 16. בכבוד.
Sorry, that won't be a second. 11:16. Right. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. Hashem said to Moshe,
Yeah, sure.
gather to me 70 men from the elders of Israel, whom you know to be the elders of the people and its officers. Take them to the tent of meeting and have them stand there with you.
Okay, what's happening here? I need to make a history, and then I will explain what's happening. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in the year 2449 from the creation, that's mean on the 2nd year from the Exodus, on the 21st of Iyar, he brought a plague and he killed the 7 elderly. Why? Because in a previous year, when it was Matan Torah, when they received the Torah in the year 2448, okay, and the 6th of Sivan, when he brought the Torah in the 6th of Sivan in the year 2448, okay, from the creation, the 7 elderly was sitting and eating and drinking. Okay, that's on a pshat of the dvarim, what they was eating, what they was drinking, and they didn't stood on Mount Sinai. It's pshat of the dvarim, but we have to understand. HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't want to punish them dead immediately. He waited 11 months. On the 21st of Iyar, the following year, he killed all those elderly. When we say elderly zaken, Hazal explains zekana chokhmah. What it means old? They're not just because they're the most old. They're old that they have a chokhmah. It can be a youngster, but he must have a chokhmah. He must have a wisdom. He's a scholar person. Here, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Moshe Rabbeinu, gather a new 70 scholar person that can help you to judge the people, that can help you to lead the people. That means that they're going to be also give you a hand to judge the people, to help you to run the children of Israel. Okay? When that was in Chodesh Iyar in the year 2449 from the creation. That's mean for the second, after the second year, okay, from the day that they left Egypt for the Exodus. HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu to choose 70. Moshe Rabbeinu have a problem. Why? Because there is 12 tribes. To choose 70, you need to take 10 tribes, to take from every tribe, you need to take 6. Okay? So that's 60. From another tribe, another 2 tribes, you have to take 5. Become a problem. Which member of each tribe will allow to send only 5 and not 6? Who doesn't want to be the helper of Moshe Rabbeinu? Who doesn't want to be closer to Moshe Rabbeinu? So Moshe Rabbeinu now have a problem. How's he going to do that? He can't take 6 from 10 tribes and from another 2 tribes to take 5. What did Moshe Rabbeinu done? Moshe Rabbeinu, Rabotai, listen to that, took from every tribe 6 people. That there was the scholar person, what we call it Zaken, Zekana Chochma, wisdom, they have scholar, there was wisdom people. And he took them. What did Moshe Rabbeinu done? Rabotai, listen to that. He done a lottery. How did he done the lottery? He took 70 pieces of paper, and on them he wrote, on every one of them he wrote Zaken. Another 2 pieces of paper he left empty. Those that gonna mention Zaken, they're gonna stay and gonna be the new member of the 7 elderly. Those that have the empty one on their paper, they have to return back home. Shut of the dvarim. And that's how Moshe Rabbeinu done the lottery. So far is the history how to choose a new member of 70 people. Okay. Come the Zera Shimshon. The Zera Shimshon is Rabbi Shimshon Haim Nachmani. He was a great Kabbalistic rabbi. He lived in Italy. He born in the city of Modena 317 years ago in the north of France. Then he moved to Reggio. Okay, he was the rabbi of Reggio in Italy. And he wrote in his book Zera Shimshon a beautiful question. He said, wait a minute, isn't it easier to take 70 empty paper, okay, and take another 2 paper, and on those 2 paper make a mark, let's say X. Those that gonna, when you do the lottery, those that gonna get the 2 letter with the mark on them, they know that they have to leave. Why did Moshe Rabbeinu go into all the trouble to write 70 pieces of letters, Zaken, 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 on each piece? And only 2 he left empty. Isn't it easier? That's the question, Rabotai, of the Zera Shimshon. Very valid question. Said the Zera Shimshon, I'll answer you. First of all, you have to understand lottery in a Jewish religion, it's not a coincidence. Say Rabbi Tzadok Cohen Miluvlin. Rabbi Tzadok Cohen Miluvlin, born in Poland. He born around 204 years ago, plus minus, if I'm not, no, he born 200 years ago, exactly 200 years ago. What am I talking? Ken, Rabbi Tzadok Cohen Miluvlin. He born 200 years ago. And he said like this, you have to understand that lottery, in a mystical term, they call it Atika Kadisha. Atika Kadisha. What does it mean, Atika Kadisha? We'll explain just now. Said the Zera Shimshon, you have to understand something, the Rabbi Tzadok Cohen Miluvlin. You have to understand something very important. He said that you have to understand that lottery in a Jewish religion is higher than prophecy. Higher than prophecy, Rabota, listen to that, lottery. What do you mean? He's saying like this. And that's what the Zerah Shimshon going to tell us. The Zerah Shimshon tell us that it was easier to take 70 pieces, to leave them empty, and to make them a mark. No. Aaron didn't done it. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't done it. Why? Rabota, I'm going to start with a story that happened in a time of Yeshua bin Nun. When Yeshua bin Nun entered to the land of Eretz Israel and started to conquer the place, start to conquer Eretz Israel. The first war that he had, we all know it was in Jericho. HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Yeshua bin Nun, tell the children of Israel they're not allowed to touch the spoil. Okay, Yeshua bin Nun told the children of Israel, don't touch the spoil. The children of Israel attacked Jericho. It was a great success. The second war that the children of Israel have to go, it's Bet Ai. It's a city called Ai. And there the children of Israel lost the war. Yeshua bin Nun couldn't understand. He spoke to the Almighty and of him to me, why did you left us? Kadosh Baruch Hu said to me, you ask me, ask your nation. He said, what do you mean? He says, someone stole from the spoil, took from the spoil. He said, tell me who is it and I'll punish him. Kadosh Baruch Hu said to him, what do you mean? You want me to be a tittle teller? I'm not a tittle teller. Do the goral, do the lottery. What did Yeshua bin Nun done? He took 12 pieces of paper and he wrote the name of the tribe. From the 12 name of the tribe came Shevet Yehuda, came up. Then he took the tribe of Yehuda and he wrote the name of the family of the tribe of Yehuda. From them come Mishpahat Azarhi. Then he done it, and the lottery, I'm going to make it short, until he reached to Achan. Achan, by the way, he'd been found guilty that he stole from the spoil. At the beginning, he denied. Okay? When he denied, the tribe of Yehuda said, how can you blame Achan? How can you blame a member of my tribe that he took from the spoil? And the argument, it was a civil war in Israel. Achan that saw it, that not enough that he took from the spoil, now people dying. Immediately he gone out and it starts screaming, stop, stop, stop the war. I did take the spoil and he brought all what he took. Yeshua bin Nun, in the command of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, killed him. There is there a debate if he killed only Achan or he killed also the member of his family. But Hazal tell us that Achan, okay, by that he declared and he admit that he stole, he have merit to Olam Haba. Not only that, he wrote the second part of Alenu Leshabeach. Al Ken Nekave, Rashi Tevot, Ekremen, Al Ain, Nekave, Al Ken Nekave, Achan, Ekremen Achan, Al Ken, Ain Kav, Nun Achan. He wrote the second part of Alenu Leshabeach. Say the Mefarshim, from here you learn something very important. You know what you learn from here? That lottery, like say the Rabbi Tzadok HaKohen Minovlin, is a higher than prophecy. Not only that, it's called Kadisha Atika. What it mean Atik Sliha, Atika Kadisha? What it mean Atika Kadisha? The mystical rabbi explained, I don't know nothing about it, but I'm just trying to explain what they say, that Atika Kadisha mean compassion, mercy, and love that HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That means when the Jewish people do lottery, it's to show the love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to show the mercy of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the kindness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the compassion that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has towards the Jewish people. Say the Zera Shimshon, now you can understand why Moshe Rabbeinu needed to do the lottery. In a way that he wrote 70 times Zaken, that you have to make sure that when the lottery done, it has to be clear that not going to be any debate, to show exactly who was the chosen one. What's the Hidush? So what I would like to end with a beautiful story. You all heard about Rabbi Aryeh Levin. Rabbi Aryeh Levin was a great tzaddik. In Milchemet HaShichrur, in a war straight after the independence of Israel, it was a war that's called Miftzad Lamed Hey. It was an operation, the Lamed Hey. It was a very successful operation. 35 soldiers died. 11 of them down a way that you couldn't recognize them. You couldn't recognize the body. It was an ambush anyway. 11 of them you couldn't recognize. David Ben Gurion, that was then the prime minister of Israel, called Rabbi Aryeh Levin. And he said to him, please, I want you to do Goral Agra, the lottery of the Agra. What does it mean? That when a person do a lottery, Rabotai, not everyone can do a lottery. It's not a bingo. You have to be holy. You have to be pure, mindly. You have to be so pure and holy that he can do the lottery of the Agra. Rabbi Aryeh Levin agreed, and he prepared himself for that lottery, and he done it all in Kedusha and Tahara. And his job was to expose who was those 11 deceased that they couldn't recognize them from the 35. Why? What was the Hidush? That they're not going to be buried in a mass grave, that they're going to be buried each one in his own grave. And until today, if I'm not mistaken, they're still buried. Okay? What do you call it? In Har Herzl. Okay, in Jerusalem, in Har Herzl. Aryeh Levin done that Goral Agra, the lottery of the Agra, and he explained each one who he is. He identified each one, and they brought to their own grave so people can go and eulogize for them and mourn for them when there is. By the way, that's the Rabbi Aryeh Levin write in his book, Ish Tzadik Haya, that he wrote all the protocol that the Jewish state of Israel by Ben Gurion asked him. It's mentioned in his book. It's all written in the Israeli protocol that it was the last lottery done amongst the Jewish people. What does it come to teach us, lottery? The lottery come to teach us that something very important. Many people think it's a coincidence. Lottery come to teach us there is no such thing coincidence. Don't think for a second that anything happened in life for coincidence. Coincidence in Hebrew, it's called bemikre. Mikre. What does it mean, mikre? Coincidence. Come the Mefarshim and say, take the word mikre. Rak me'Hashem. It's only from the Almighty. Lottery come to teach us that everything happening from Hashem. Don't think for a second, by coincidence I met this guy and he introduced me to this guy and that's how I done the business. There's no such thing. There's no such thing coincidence. HaKadosh Baruch Hu put it together. Lottery, it's not a coincidence. Lottery is something very holy. And I say Rabbi Tzadok Kohen Miluvlin, that it's even more than prophecy. Come to Zerah Shimshon and say, I'll tell you why Moshe Rabbeinu needed to write 70. You know why? To make sure, to show everyone in the children of Israel that those that took 72, those two that gone home, it's not a coincidence. Why? Because there is more chance that a person will take zaken if he wrote 70 times zaken, or if he takes 70 empty. There is better chance for who to come to this one that doesn't have the mark on a paper. And that's what he said. That lottery, it's above everything. It's not something that happened by coincidence. Lottery in a Jewish religion, that you do it properly. Yeah. Only a holy person can do it. A person that is pure, that can do it. There is stages how to do it, how to prepare yourself to become pure, how to get ready to it. Not everyone can do lottery in a Jewish people. That's why Moshe Rabbeinu, when he chose the 70 elderly, that's why he done the lottery in that way, to teach us that there is no such thing, mikre. There is only from the Almighty. Be'ezrat Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will have mercy and compassion on us and kindness, and he will send us Metziach Tzidkenu speedily, and our day, Amen ken yeh ratzon. Bechavod, those of you that want to ask question can unmute the microphone, and I try to help. Bechavod.
Hello, it's Anthony. How are you?
Anthony, Erev Tov. Thank you for joining us. I'm well, and you?
Right, good, thanks.
Good.
You know, the oral Torah explains the written Torah. Well, you need the oral Torah. Why do some people just believe in the written Torah? There's certain people who only believe in the written Torah. And who are they, and why? How do they manage? How do they manage those people?
Okay, so you have to understand that there is the Shomronim. Today is the Shomronim. There is the Kutim. There is the Tzdukim. Okay, there is so many sectors that don't believe in oral Torah. How do they manage? I'll tell you how they manage. They don't manage. For them, the Torah tells us, for example, on Shabbos, you're not allowed to light a fire. What is fire? You're not allowed to have light on Shabbos. So all of Shabbos, Friday night, they sit in a darkness. Why? Because they're not allowed to light light. So they don't manage. They don't manage. No, they don't. The Chochmah here, listen to that they don't understand, because the oral Torah explained to us that you don't have to sit in the darkness. But the Torah tells us you should not light a fire on Shabbos. Why did they do it? I don't know. You know, I really can't answer you that. Beseder.
Okay, very interesting.
Yeah, very, very. Any other question, Rabotai, Bechavod?
There's also two nuns by Ibn Aaron. We didn't discuss it, but there's two nuns in that little verse there. By Ibn Aaron, Israel. Why? What is the special thing about that particular verse? Those verses.
That particular verse, I was thinking to speak about it on Shabbos. What's the secret behind it? There's a big secret behind it. That when you take the Torah, that when you say, there's a great secret behind it. Be'ezrat Hashem on Shabbos, make sure that you and I are coming on Shabbos to the She'or, so you'll hear the secret, okay? Because if I tell you the Hidush now, you're not going to hear it on Shabbos.
Okay, thanks. We'll come.
Be'ezrat Hashem, please God. Yes, any other question? Any other question? Bechavod.
Yes, Rob, I have a couple of questions I'd like to
Bechavod,
make a comment and ask you on.
Yeah, Bechavod.
the lottery, which is this lottery, you've got to be a holy person. Do you think, I know it's not off the sub, but it's to do with the lottery. Do you think that Haman thought and knew that that's how the Jewish people chose,
sure.
and he thought he was good enough to do the same thing, and he was
For sure,
a great
for
person?
sure, for sure. Don't go further. For sure, that the only difference is, Jeffrey, he done it from the tuma, from the impurity. The same like you do it with the purity, you can do it with the impurity. It's just that the result of the impurity is a bit confusing.
Yeah.
Don't go
But
any
Hashem
further.
has his hand in it. Maybe Hashem wanted him to do that. Maybe he
For
wanted
sure.
to do that.
And look how he confused him, because he chose which man's Adar. What's happened in Adar?
Yep.
Moshe Rabbeinu born in Zayin Be'adar and died in Zayin Be'adar. So he only understand part of it, that Moshe Rabbeinu died.
Yes.
And why he was willing to go against the Jewish people? Because Haman was from the descendants of Amalek. You understand what I'm saying? Who
Yes.
weakened Amalek? Yoshua bin Nun. Who was Yoshua bin Nun? Later on, from the tribe of Mordechai. He didn't understand what's cooking on. He just wanted to take revenge. Come Shevet Binyamin and taught him a good lesson. And that was Mordechai, Ish Yemini, from the tribe of Binyamin.
All right. Rav,
You understand? You
thank
understand how the thing
One-
together?
Yeah. One more question.
Ken,
You explained about the Zakanim and the 70 were chosen, and you went into depth to say how it was done. But if something strikes me as I'm talking to you, and you're talking to us, that if he had 70, Moshe and Aaron were from the tribe of Levy, and they were Zakanim. They were elderly. So therefore, if they chose, took two away, because they were part already of the tribe of Levi, so they would make the 72. They would make. They could have been. Levi could have taken 2 off because Moshe and Aaron were already there as the Canaan.
So, but the Hidush here, that the Skenim, there was those people to come and help Moshe and Aaron. Why? Because Kohen is a Kohen. The Kohen had nothing to do with the leadership of the Jewish people.
Moshe did.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Only Moshe. But Moshe himself needed another 70. Why? To be uneven number of 71. Yeah. Now you understand how it works?
Yes.
So Aaron does not count. Why?
Doesn't count.
Because Aaron himself have nothing to do that. Aaron have the priestlyhood. בסדר, יש לו את priestlyhood, he's not allowed to get involved. Aaron, that is the king, Moshe, that is the king, now need another 70.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Is this the beginning of what we became the Sanhedrin? Is that where
Absolutely.
the number comes?
Exactly. Sanhedrin Gdola. That's what we call it, the big Sanhedrin. That's how it started. From that way it started. That was the foundation to it. Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank
you, Rob.
בסדר? Any other question, רבותיי? No? No other question. Okay, רבותיי, I would like to thank all of you. Those that wasn't sure and left, those that still with us, I would like to thank you, to wish you all a great Shabbos, a beautiful Shabbos, and enjoy the weekend. Try to study Torah. Just to remember everyone again, we back at the Shorim live at Yeshiva College every Shabbos an hour before Mincha in a big shul. Those of you that can join us, I would love to see you all. In the meantime, I would like to take the opportunity to thank you. Thank you very much for joining us. Nachon, that there is load shedding. With all the load shedding, it's so nice to see you with us and to say, have a great week, have a great night. Shabbat Shalom to all of you, and thank you for joining us. All the best.
Shabbat Shalom, Rav. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.
Oh,
Good night.
thank you.
Good night,
Good night.
everyone. Good night.